Shalom Yasharallah. First and foremost, I would like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chatash. Double honor to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp. And I just want to do this lesson based on Jeremiah 30 because, I believe, just as many of the other prophets out there, man, we are living in these times. And that's why we do this work, man, because we have to understand this for ourselves. And that's why I said I believe we're living in these times, because you have to believe the message that you're saying out there for yourself so that you can learn what the scriptures say and then you can go out and teach it. And the point is that we're out there pushing prophecy, warning our people that a time like no other is coming. And if you know a lot of bloodshed is coming, if you know tribulation, anguish, pain, and that your people are going to be target and public enemy number one in these times, and that they don't have no idea what's coming, it would behoove you, if you have even a little bit of a conscience, to want to tell people about it, to want to let them know. But we know that in this truth, Salakia, that you cannot give yourself salvation, in the sense that you can't do the amount of works and say, oh, I've done this many works, I should be saved. No, because everything is predestined. Everything is predestination. But part of that is going out there, crying on the highways and byways, crying aloud, spare not, telling our people what is prophecy, breaking down the MOT to the B, going out there with the stick, which is Ezekiel 37, which is the 12 tribes chart, which there was a Jake that came on my comment board and was asking, how can you prove that the Haitians are from the tribe of Levi? Well, it doesn't take that much of too much of a critical thinking, because if based off any bit of information about the Haitians, that they're very spiritual, in the sense that they're into voodoo, Santeria, these other things that are very pagan type worship. But they're actually, you see crazy videos come out of Haiti of people floating, of them dealing with those left-handed spirits, because, even though Jake is going off, they are the priesthood of the nation, and that's why, in a way, the Haitians are getting it the worst, in a way, because they are a leader tribe, the priesthood, and Levi, is over there in Haiti. So it's all through faith as well, because are we going to be able to show you genetic proof and history? No, Esau has wiped that out, and genetics and all that shit, that's white man science, man. The 12 tribes chart is established by faith. It was given to us by our elders, and that has certain characteristics of each tribe that go along with that, but the point is that either you believe it or you don't. We ain't gonna fucking beg you. And the Jake that asked that, the first question that I asked was, what camps do you watch? Plural. Because only somebody that's watching all these different camps is going to go on a comment board and ask a question like that, man. Like, either you believe it or you don't. Go watch whatever fucking camp you're watching if you're watching them, man. If not, if you're watching Great Millstone, man, get in line and keep listening to videos, because most likely your questions will be answered. But if you're not doing the studying, if you're just asking all these questions, you don't want to do any research for yourself, then hey, man, we're not here to hold anybody's hands, but that's why we're here to tell you straight the message. And we tell you a little rough, but this is how we received it, man. So if you don't like being talked to in a stern way, man, this is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's military, man. In the sense that we're in order. So, hey, man, this is how you got to get it, because this is a very important message with not a lot of time for you to get it, So it's very, an urgent message. But I want to get into this prophecy in Jeremiah 30, because, again, this is the time that we're living in. This is Jeremiah 30, and I'm going to just start at the top. Jeremiah 30 and verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord Yahweh, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord Yahweh, the Most High of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. And that book right here is this Bible. Specifically, I recommend brothers buy the King James Version 1611, but if you don't have the 1611, you just have a regular King James Version, you can order the Apocrypha, which I believe the last time I looked was like 12, 13, 14 bucks, I believe like 14 something plus shipping, so you want those books as you're reading the scriptures, because without the Apocrypha, you're not going to get it. But again, that is what makes the whole Bible is 80 books. 80 books of the Bible, not 66 like these Christians give you, man. Some watered down so-called preaching of what the scriptures actually say, man, which we know that there's distorted doctrine that the Christians teach, and them taking a part of the Bible out just makes that much more sense. But verse 3, for lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord Yahweh. And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave them to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And that is talking about when Yahweh Shai has already laid waste to all these nations. The elect have already got chains on these motherfucking elites, man. And we've already been coming down New Jerusalem, the holy city coming down from the heavens after the nuclear wasteland, has been, been already sitting there for X amount of years for the radiation to secede, and that is when we're going to get our land back. Verse 4, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, and that is the southern and the northern kingdom, the so-called Negroid tribes of our people, which is the southern kingdom, Judah, Levi, Benjamin, but also Reuben, would be considered a so-called black man because they are the Seminole Indians, the Native Americans, which were reclassified under the Dawes rolls when the United States government was over here reclassifying anything darker than a paper bag, whether it be a Native American or a so-called black man. So you have to know the history to understand the mystery. And if you don't understand what this devil did to change your names, identities, and who you are as a people, then you're going to get lost. But first and foremost, everything comes through the scriptures. And this lesson is all through the Spirit, but I wanted to say some things about what's going on because, hey, man, who else is? And that's starting with the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught us this doctrine to be able to go out there, and each one has a responsibility to what? Teach one. Man, if you know something, go teach your neighbor because our brothers need it, especially in this time in the world of ignorance. Yeah, it's the world of in the age of information, but a lot of these motherfuckers are watching booty shaking videos and DIY home improvement shit other than learning about what the real meaning of the scriptures are, man. But again, going back to everything is predestined, and if you're not of the elect, you're not going to get this. Continuing, verse 5, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And that's referring to Jeremiah 28:8. I'm going to go get it real quick because I'm close. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So again, man, we're not out there speaking peace. Verse 9, the prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh hath truly sent him. So, hey, man, the understanding that the prophets are going to be telling you that these judgments are coming, man. We're not telling you a watered down prosperity doctrine. But this is verse 6. Ask ye now, going back in Jeremiah 30 and verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. And that is a man having fucking pregnancy pains? Is he having a child come between the tip of his rod like a woman has go between the matrix and has her shit split open, man, to be able to birth that life in, man? It's a painful process. If you've ever seen videos or had to experience that yourself, if you are a woman or if you are a father to a woman, if you've been in the room to hear that pain, man. I have not, so I can only talk about what I have either heard or seen on videos. But hey, man, it does not look like a very good time. Wherefore, I know me personally, my father said that he got woozy in the fucking room when my mom was having me, and he had to get grabbed by a nurse, and they gave him orange juice and sat his ass down because he was, he couldn't even stand on his feet, man, because it was such a whatever process was going through, man. I can't even imagine. First and foremost, a man should not be in the room while a woman is giving birth, nonetheless a doctor fucking with his hands right there by your woman's, man. That's why, again, this society needs to be destroyed because this way is off. But back in Jeremiah 30:6, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness? Because paleness is when you get when you're fearful and full of pain. You know, when you have like you're like know you're gonna die. You know, they always show you those videos of people eyes dilating and they're getting pale, man. You're done. Verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. That he is the elect. So, hey, brothers, you know, this judgment is not for us. This is for the heathen. This is for the 2/3. This is for their kingdom to fall, for ours to come. So again, this is a message that we have to continually beat across Jake's head, because this bell and this whistle and this, you know, crying aloud and this blowing the trumpet has to continue to go out to tell you, man, things are going to get so bad. Cannibalism is coming back. There's going to be no grocery stores up and running. You're not going to have any water coming to your house when you turn on the spigot. You're going to have road closures, military going house to house. You're going to have thermal drones in the air, robot dogs, robot horses, like they're talking about bringing out in the next year, you know, going around different miniature sized robots that look exactly like bugs. Man, the satellite imagery, you know, you don't even have to have a phone on you. Esau can pin your location and designate a satellite algorithm to follow you every single where you go. Man, so there's no hiding unless you have the mercy of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai and his protection, his angels that he's going to send to protect brothers. You know, and many of brothers have had different dreams with different testimonies showing them how, you know, through the Spirit, how we're going to get delivered in these last days through miracles, man. You know, so if it's going to get so bad that you're going to need a miracle, what type of life should you be living until then, man? So when you got taken out the earth today, would you feel comfortable with what you did for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the life that you lived? Well, the answer is, hey, man, it all goes back to predestination. But, hey, man, we all got wicked works, and it would behoove you to add some righteous works to that, man. So, again, if you're a man and you know this truth, if you know you're a Hebrew Israelite, you should be out there on the streets and going and checking in with the Great Millstone Camp. I don't want to hear no affiliate camp that has not checked in with a Great Millstone Camp, man, because all that shows is you don't want to fall in order. So again, man, you know, if you got a Great Millstone Camp in your area that you can go learn from, that is a major blessing. That is the altar. That is the church where you can go and hear the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So go in, check in, and don't think you have time, because you don't. But with that, I'm going to close this lesson by giving all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachach, and double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And peace and salutations to all you hopeful lectakim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom, especially in these times, to do so. You know, till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.